Good evening, everyone. Welcome to ERL round number 13 for Tier 3. Then this evening for the Brazilian Sao Paulo Grand Prix. I am F1ology and I am joined by my co-host or co-commentator, Mufasa. How are you doing this evening?
Good evening. Yeah, all good. Happy to see a dry race tonight at Brazil, as yesterday's wet one was mighty tricky. So I'm looking forward to an exciting dry race here in Tier 3.
Yep, indeed. And I was obviously commentating on that Tier 1 race last night, where it was, as you say, very, very wet. But obviously, we're here for Tier 3. Obviously, I believe there's a championship potentially up for grabs this evening, if I'm correct, for McLaren.
Uh,
If you'd like to go through
is
stats.
Yeah, so constructor-wise, McLaren is leading with 183 points, having 40 points over Red Bull in second place, and Alpine in third with 109. They're pretty much settled in third there, although Ferrari is still chasing them a little bit with 91. Um, Back to the front of the pack though, if McLaren manages to outscore Red Bull tonight by about 4 points, uh, they will grab the title tonight as a constructors. Um, Driver-wise, apparently somebody's done the math for me because I'm not clever enough to do it, but there's 6 drivers still in contention for the Drivers' Championship in Tier 3. That is Dandan, Iron Kid, Top Car Vlogger, uh, Top House Vlogger, Neil, and Stuart. Um, the top two, or actually the top four, are only separated by about 11 points. Stuart is the only one that needs a little bit more of a miracle, but he is still up to grab it. Don't think we'll see the drivers' championship decided tonight. That will go down to the wire next week in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, it certainly should go down to the wire. There's about 5 drivers, or maybe even 6 drivers, who can possibly win the Tier 3 championship, which is very exciting for the finale, hopefully next week in Abu Dhabi, which should be good. So, who's your prediction potentially to win tonight, this evening's race, or is there no one you're predicting for?
Uh, I know Iron Kid is very, very committed to win this whole thing. Uh, but he's lost championships before, and I wouldn't be surprised if he just messes up again. I know he's very worried about Stewart, so my money for tonight, even though he is in a Ferrari who normally get the strategy wrong, is on Stewart.
Fair enough. So Stuart obviously is taking your back in. I'm going to obviously back the McLaren driver of Iron Kid, personally. And then we got a nice little split then between us two, which is all good. So, nonetheless, trying to then see who's on a good lap. I think Neil might be the first driver to come round to complete then his first flying lap of the afternoon and does a 108.7. That's pretty decent, to be fair.
That's a pretty decent banker lap.
Yeah, that's a very good banker lap, as Iron Kid is about, 3 tenths off that. Actually, Top Car Vlogger has displaced him in P2. So we've got the one of the Ferraris, LLCC, coming around then to complete his lap. Where will he go? Unfortunately, P5 for him. Immediately down into P5 now. Stuart now, one of the championship protagonists, comes to the line and goes up into 5th. Anyone you seeing out on a good lap at the moment?
Not really. Trying to keep an eye out on Benden as well, obviously leading championship at the moment. But he's still in the pits for now, so he's going to leave it late. maybe have an eye on JMC. He's doing a lap, but he's already used all of his ERS actually. So he will have left his ERS on his out lap to now ruin his hot lap.
Yeah, that's certainly not ideal to do, of course. But nonetheless, Brian is about to cross the line right now and goes into 7th. So that's a decent start for him this evening as JMC coming up towards the line in his Mercedes. Really do like the black, obviously, Mercedes, one of my favourite livery cars, personally.
Despite having used all his ERS in his out lap, 109.8, pretty decent lap, put him in 7th.
Yeah, is indeed a decent effort. Zonnewild, obviously he's about to come up to the line, one of the certainly probably quicker drivers who can contend for maybe a win tonight, and goes into 109.5, so just ahead of JMC. Probably actually reflects JMC's lap. Had he probably had a bit more ERS charge, yeah, it could have been a lot.
He ran out of ERS in sector 1. So if he manages his ERS on his out lap, he can do some real damage to this title fight.
Yeah, obviously, don't think he's one of the well, no, he isn't one of the drivers in the title fight, but yeah, as you say, could do a bit of damage. Obviously,
he can take points away.
Yeah. Which
Robbo coming over the line now, 109.7, put him in 8th.
So Cavolis completing now the middle sector, 52.5 the middle sector. That's pretty solid. Probably be about 109, I'm predicting. Here's probably a 109.3. Then as we run up towards the line, and it's a 109.4. So only a turn. No, that weren't a bad luck. As Dree goes to the bottom. So only Tom, Charlie and Dandan and Vigo is to set a lap. Obviously Dandan is our championship leader at the moment in the championship. As Iron
just
Kid.
cross-check if we have any quali bans and why they haven't set any laps yet.
Yeah.
Just Vigo, so he won't set a lap. The others are all good.
So, at least I suppose Dandan is good. I know Dandan had a bit of a difficult race last time out in Mexico. Wasn't really his fault, to be fair, from what I recall. And can't remember who won. I know Iron Kid had a really good race actually. He really done well last time out. I think he finished P2. I think it was Neil who won it, if I'm correct. Last time.
Let me double check that. I just got some feedback that my mic was low, so I changed that. Anybody who's listening, if you can tell me if that's better. You wanted to see who got first last time round.
I'm pretty sure it was Neil who took P1 last time, followed by Iron Kid. Can't remember who took third, but currently Stuart's on out lap. Top Car Flogger is through the middle sector.
Last time round, Cavolis took the lead, Iron Kid in second, and Top Car in third.
So I got one right out of 3.
It's something.
Yep. Still, Top Car Flogger is about to come up to the line now, on board with his Red Bull, and this is looking actually like a decent time, and it's going to be a 108.7, and only a few thousandths off than our pole sitter, who currently is nil, literally 17 thousandths off the pole lap time, as Top House Flogger then, his teammate, is improving by a 10th out there in the first sector, so that's pretty decent for at least sector 1 as he goes up the hill then into one of the more heavier braking zones, probably the first real heavy braking zone on the lap. I think he may have abandoned or aborted that lap because it seems very pedestrian in the middle sector. So, you riding on board with anyone at the moment?
Yeah, Denden is about to cross the line on his first hot lap. Coming past the pit now, and he puts it on pole for now. Provisional pole for Denden with 2 tenths up on Neil, showing why he's the championship leader.
Yep, indeed. That is a very decent pole up from him. To
Chu is improving as well. He's coming on to the start-finish straight now. Only marginally. Let's see if he's gained a lot in sector 3. Puts it into second place. Still 2 tenths away from Denden, but a decent time with a 1:08.7.
So, obviously, top 3 only split by, well, top 4 only split by about 3 or 4 tenths now. So
within 3 tenths, yeah.
Good between them all.
If you go slightly over 3 tenths, you can include Iron Kid as well, in place 4, place 5. I can't speak.
No, Iron Kid is 3 tenths and a thousandth off the pole at the moment, which is pretty decent. Piano Jam, not sure if he's on a lap. He has got the fuel light on, so I don't think he is. And he did brake very early into that corner, as Brian, I think, crossed the line but hasn't really improved. So Tom is improving quite rapidly out there. Obviously didn't really set too much of a great lap on first run. More like
almost like a double warm-up lap.
Yeah, pretty much is a double warm-up for Tom. So he will improve massively on this second run. So really this is his first real attempt probably at the track as he heads down.
He's doing the same thing. He's about to cross the line. He's improving about 12 seconds or something, so that will bring him up to the top. Yeah, second place. Only within a 10, yeah.
And Tom is also improving and goes into P8. So now we've got top 6 all split by less than half a second at the moment, almost by less than 3 tenths of a second. So it's pretty much very close between our championship leaders and all of them at the moment out there, and only 1.6 seconds splitting the entire field, which is pretty nice to see. So it's nice and compact.
Apart from Top House Vlogger, all our top 6 sort of title contenders are in the top 6. So they're really proving why they are the title contenders this season in Tier 3.
Yep, indeed. As Cavolis comes downhill, do you know any of the names of these corners or not really? I know the first 2 Senna S's.
I know the Senna S, but that's about it.
Right. Your knowledge is basically as good as mine.
Cavolis dives in, even though he was improving.
Yeah, he was improving by a decent amount, but yep, does dive into pit lane. Sometimes, I suppose, I don't know whether he probably just thought he might be able to get a bit more time out of it with a better set of tyres on a last run. Yeah. Obviously, pretty much everyone has come back into the pit lane. Neil has started a lap. If you want, you can take us around and explain a lap, how to drive it.
Neil, where is he now? Oh yes, he's on the back straight between turn 3 and 4. Braking zone into, I take this in 4th actually, not in 5th. Oh, and he invalidates on the outside there. Turn 6 and 7, just a tap on the brakes and some downshifting. Easy to lose the rear of the car though, and a heavy braking zone into the technical section of sector 2. Multiple lines possible throughout pretty much all corners here, and then from this corner on it's really important you get your exit right. Have the confidence to put the throttle down through this corner and then into another braking zone where the exit is that much important for your time over the line, where you go up the hill onto the finish straight, and this is where Neil decides to go into the pit because he invalidated his lap.
Yeah. And obviously it's a bit of a, well, I wouldn't say a difficult pit zone, it's probably one of the more easier pit zones, I would say, on the calendar overall, and pit exit actually, to be fair.
It surprised me a lot yesterday how early you have to brake in the wets in this pit lane.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's that kink in the road,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. That can be catch you out.
In the dry, you can easily sort of start braking in that kink.
Yeah.
In the wet, you needed to brake so much earlier.
Oh, for sure.
Obviously,
obviously,
he's on a lap. He's in sector 2 at the moment. I'm following him around.
Yeah, I'm also on board with Charlie as he then heads obviously down into this almost bowl, I suppose, corner where it just shoots you up and down. And then similar sort of profile corner, a bit more sharper though. Then heading down the hill towards the final corner. And as you say, this is a very good corner. Yeah, very nice improvement. So pretty much put flat
exit as well.
Yep, indeed. And we'll cross the line now, pretty much, as he takes choice around to the line and goes into P7. So a 108.9, that's a very decent effort from him.
Very decent. That might actually be his last run. I don't think he might be able to get another one in.
No, I don't think he will be. That is pretty much, I'm going to assume, for him, as Limited Danny is about to begin a flying lap, I believe. Well, pretty much all of them are very shortly. So Limited Danny will cross the line, obviously currently only half a second off. I'm not really sure if he's actually attacking this one because doesn't seem to be using any of his battery pack, so might be going for a double warm-up actually for the Haas driver.
Yeah, and Bakduri is doing the same. He's not on an outlap anymore, still got full ERS, so he's definitely doing a double warmer.
Yeah, a few of them probably are. Tire temperature around here, I think, could be a bit of a problem, not really too sure. Obviously, it's not really too hard on the tyres this circuit, a bit like Austria, I suppose, when it comes to that.
Sector 2 can be a bit tricky.
Yeah, especially up the hill into turn 5 with that long right-hander you take in 7th gear, which we're coming up to now. We really can get loose through here. So that's something to be careful of, especially at the top of it. So pretty much everyone is on out laps or is on a double warm-up lap by the looks of it. No one is really going for a full-on push.
Brian is on a push lap and he's a 10th up on his time.
Yep, he is just gone on board with the Haas driver, so he's obviously on a push lap. If you want to watch maybe, I don't know, Stuart, or maybe one of the other championship leaders, and let me know if any of them are improving. I know Dan is still yet to start a lap. He's just begun one, or going to begin one now.
Dan just started a lap, so I'll keep an eye on him.
Cool. So Brian obviously coming up to the line now, about to complete his final attempt then at this. Where is he going to go, or where is he going to improve to? And he's going to cross the line and improves into 14th, which isn't a
big... about to cross.
Yep.
He was on a very good improvement. Makes it in 3rd. Stewart's improving as well with a purple 2nd sector.
Yep, he is, and he's currently 2/10 off that pole time, so would only need about, 50 thousandths of a second more to get onto the provisional pole. Is he going to take pole away? No, lost a lot of time in the final sector.
He lost it in the end. Ironfield has given up his lap.
Dan's invalidated, so
and Bakduri is on a purple 2nd sector.
Yep, so this could take pole position away from his teammate, his Alpine teammate, Is he going to go pole? Nope, misses out by 28 thousandths on improving his own time. And Iron Kid isn't improving there either, and he's into the pit lane. So no one improved on their final runs, really. A few of them obviously did, such as Top Car Flogger and Limited Danny. But other than that, not many improvements out there.
Very, very tight from top to bottom, really.
Yeah, only 1.6
seconds.
Indeed. And top 15 or top 14 covered by literally 9/10 of a second.
Yeah. That is good going.
Yeah. Is indeed. So, obviously, go through the grid order now, and then, into the race.
And Stuart is commenting on our stream. He said he had that, but the rear went on the final corner, and that's how he lost pole. That is such a shame, but such a crucial corner, as we said.
Indeed. So, Dan is on pole by ahead of his teammate Debris, followed by Top Car Flogger, then Limited Danny, then Stuart in 5th, and Neil in 6th, Iron Kid in 7th, followed by Charlie in 8th. Tom is in 9th, and then Top House Flogger is in 10th. Outside of the top 10, we've got Zonnevild in 11th, Robbo is 12th, 13th, Piano Jam, 14th, Cavolis, Brian in 15th, JMC 16th, LLCC is 17th, and rounding out the back of the grid is Vigo, obviously on a qualifying ban in 18th. So that is obviously your grid order. In terms of race strategy, presume you'd do a one-stop around here. Medium hards.
Well, we're going to do a sprint race first, and I think if you do a one-stopper, you're going to lose out massively.
I forgot about the sprint. So I'm getting ahead of myself.
I'm saying 12 laps, you do that on the mediums.
Definitely. Or softs if you've got more softs than mediums, because I know the game allows you to select the tyres.
Yeah. Would you go for a one-stopper on the softs here?
No, I'd go. I think softs can get to the end. They can do 12 laps easily. All the tyres can do 12 laps, at least. Maybe not good at the end, if you know what I mean.
They're going to struggle.
Yeah, but
we got lights.
Final. So it is lights out. Away we go, and all the cars have pulled away, which is obvious statement to make. But one car or two cars going a bit wide into turn 1, losing a few positions. I think Stuart was one of the cars. But the two Alpines then are going to come down into turn 4, fighting with one another. But Dan remains ahead of his Alpine teammate, which is crucial for his, to protect his lead in the championship. In theory, he could win the championship today if his opponents all have bad races. But that's, a bit of a wild possibility. But nonetheless, Tom then trying to overtake Zonnevild, has then also got the Aston Martin of Vigo trying to make up position on Cavolis. However, I don't think he was trying to make up position. I think more Cavolis went a little bit deep, and then he tried to go a bit on the outside as we got a Haas of Brian off in the background, taking the old Kimi Raikkonen route from 2012.
At least he didn't get lost.
Yeah, exactly. Then at the back of the grid, then we've got obviously Robbo trying to make up position on Zonnevild, gets into P11 and is ahead of the AlphaTauri driver as Vigo then has overtaken the other AlphaTauri of Cavolis.
Yeah, a lot happening in the first lap. Everybody got through without collisions, I think. Somebody lost out. I think that was Piano Jump, but he's already made up a couple of places. But yeah, good first lap. Let's continue this. Looking forward for all the action.
Yeah. Ironkid made up the position on Top House Flogger, as Robbo now moving himself into the top 10 ahead of Tom, the other McLaren. Obviously, McLaren only need to outscore Red Bull by 4 points to win the championship. In fact, it might be a little bit more because this obviously is a sprint. So right now, Red Bull would gain on the McLaren pair at the moment in this race in terms of championship-wise for them, which
I think
they'll be delighted.
It still stands that if they, over the sprint and the main race, if they gain 4 points on Red Bull, the McLarens, they got it in the back because the points that are left in Abu Dhabi don't change.
No, but obviously DRS has now been enabled, so obviously that rear wing will be opening for the drivers within a second of the car ahead, and that will certainly help out certain of the drivers such as Debris and Top Car Flogger, and obviously Ironkid will be one of the beneficiaries of that, to name, well, just some of them. Yeah. As then we go on to lap 3. Zonnewild coming under pressure from GMC as LCC 10-second time penalty. That's huge.
I think he spun there, and the game giving him a 10-second penalty, which we then of course can remove in the stewards room, and he will know that as the head steward. So he will be asking himself for that to be removed.
Yeah, pretty big.
Oh, top guy is making a move on backdoor, and it's a double move, and he takes himself out. He touched the rear wheel on Dandan and spun himself. Be careful on the rejoin there. That was a bit tricky. But he lost out massively, put himself in P9 now.
Yeah, and for Ironkid, still pressuring Danny, or yeah, limited Danny, but Ironkid's gone around after tangling with Top House Vlogger.
Yeah.
So,
and this is crucial for the Constructors' Championship because obviously McLaren losing a lot of points there.
I suppose it is a sprint. Correct me if I'm wrong. For sprint points, it's is it like the Formula 1 system, or?
Yes, it is. So top 1 to 8 score points. I have to keep in mind that top Ironkid will now start the main race from the back if he doesn't make up any positions, which will make scoring points in the main race a lot harder for him.
Yeah, I suppose at least it's only 2 points they would lose in like that sense.
Yeah, I think he was up for second place here.
Yeah, he was. I think
which
I agree
makes
with
it
that.
7 points.
Yeah. Still not great to be losing any points. Obviously, been at the back. He's got a lot of work to do to get back into the points if he wants to score then in this sprint. Plus, won't help his position out in the main feature race, which he'll start probably somewhere down the order. But for Dandan, he is leading very comfortably now by 3.5 seconds. Then now Neil got a little bit of a gap to Charlie. Currently Charlie's probably the one holding everyone up at the moment a little bit, as Stewart is going to be within that second, but Charlie will get the DRS and is looking quite speedy on the actual straight line pace with his Mercedes, so probably running low wings. As then Top Car Flogger under a bit of pressure from Stewart's under a bit of pressure from Top Car Flogger, but Robbo's just gone through like no tomorrow and is about to go around the outside of then Stewart. Can Top Car Flogger also maybe challenge Stewart for the position? No, but obviously he's still in 7th, so still picking up then 2 points for his team.
That was brilliantly done by Robbo, seeing the two of them fight in front of him and saying, thank you very much, I'll take the position. Brilliant move by Robbo there.
Yeah, absolutely. Have to agree with that. That was a really, really lovely move by him to get into P5. and is ahead then of the Ferrari driver and ahead of Stewart. Then for what is P6, then as Top Car Flogger struggling a little bit as Rudri has spun a little bit as he's
got a yellow
down the order.
Oh, we had a yellow flag. It's gone again. That might actually be Iron Kit. No, he's gone for a new set of softs.
Top Car Flogger making up the position, I think, or he's under threat, sorry, by Tom, who obviously this could be a crucial battle for then the Constructors' Championship if Tom is able to get the move done between them two.
And Robbo and Stewart are all over the back of Charlie, who on the previous lap had a little bit of a wobble coming out of turn 12, which opened up the opportunity for them to get the DRS and get close to him. And now definitely putting the pressure on, and I think on the straight he's going to lose it because he doesn't have DRS and both of these guys do.
Yeah, and for Stewart, he is on medium, so obviously he will potentially benefit towards the end of this race. It's pretty much a very split strategy for when it comes to the tyres. There's a few drivers on mediums, few on the softs, so majority's gone softs, but yeah.
7 on the mediums, all the others started on the softs.
Yeah, pretty split. Obviously Iron Kid, I'm pretty sure he was on maybe mediums or whatever.
No, he was on softs as well from the start.
Fair enough. So,
Robert taking the inside on Charlie.
Yeah.
Side by side still through turn 5. Are they going to stick side to side turn 6? They do. But Robert gets the position. Going a bit wide. But that is another brilliant move.
That is what we like to see. And Neil and Robbo then both in P3 and P4, so them two will be happy as teammates with their work at the moment they're doing in this race. Then here in this Brazilian Grand Prix, or the Brazilian Grand Prix sprint, then as we head on to lap 9 of the Grand Prix, then so Stewart
still sticking to the back of Robbo.
Yep, and
he's got him. He's getting him in turn 1.
Stewart had a little look up the inside at also Robbo, but didn't go for it. But Robbo is going to have the DRS to come back here into turn 4. Obviously, the second DRS activation is in that center S's, of course. And a little bit of contact. Charlie forced a little bit off the circuit, but obviously Robbo is through now. Stewart is going to try and move around the outside, instead backs out. Can he maybe go up the inside? Nope. So obviously going to have to wait a little bit longer. And actually Vigo, who where has he come from? Literally he started last. Yeah, I'm surprised.
He's worked himself up to the front and then saw them all fighting together, all three, and thought, you know what, I'm number 4, I'll tag along. And he's now overtaking Stewart.
Yep, Stewart did have a moment.
Has spun.
But for Vigo, he's having a really, really good sprint. Almost doing a Lewis Hamilton here. Lewis Hamilton did go from 20th to 5th in that sprint in 2021.
That's the one with his illegal rear wing, wasn't it?
Yeah, where he had that 0.2 millimeter or something. But Charlie is overtaking then, Nick Robbo for P4 again. Then as them two continue their battle onwards. Vigo obviously does have medium tyres, so will potentially be on the better compound now. So there's a real chance Vigo probably gets P4 in this race if things go according to plan.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's done well to get up into P6 so far, and that'll be a brilliant starting position for him in the feature race or in the main race.
I can see the scrap between the three of them go on until the finish line, to be honest.
Yeah, so can I, to be honest. I agree with that. And Limited Danny has had a moment, and he's now down into 7th. That elevates Top Car Flogger up into then the top 6, which will benefit him a bit. And currently, Tom isn't scoring any points, which isn't good for the McLaren situation. So Charlie is going to be the one once again under the pressure. Then from Robbo, as then they will use the DRS once more to come back at one another. And once again, as we head into turn 4, is Robbo going to get ahead? This time the answer is no, but he is on the inside. And
Trying to switch back.
Yep. And they'll go up the hill. Unfortunately, Robbo doesn't get the move done, but Vigo goes for it and in the end has to back out.
And Robert goes a bit deep there.
Yeah, and that's allowed Vigo through.
Vigo's now on the wrong side, so Robert will keep this.
But Robbo is, well, under a lot of pressure now, and that gap is opening up to Charlie. If he falls out of a DRS, I don't think he will, or not just, but Robbo, well, is going to be slipstreaming the Aston Martin all the way down this pit straight into turn 1, and that's going to be probably beneficial. Yep, and on the brakes, obviously, Vigo has got the more grip and is through. So can Vigo go get a podium in this race? That would be a brilliant drive all the way from P18. Obviously does have Robbo still in the background, trying to put a bit of pressure on to the Aston Martin driver. Then here,
I'm looking on board with Sonneveld, who's having a little bit of a train behind him with Tom and Cavolis. And that looked mighty on the back straight between turn 3 and 4. They got really close on the braking, all kept it clean, but very close to contact.
Well, we are on the last lap, I think. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
And Dandan is going to then cross the line to take the sprint victory. Neil is going to come home a solid P2. So our attention goes back to Vigo.
Sorry, they made contact in turn 12, and that's they both lose position, but Danny, a lot of them. Zonneveld is staying to the side of the track, but yeah, gave everybody else a shot. Top car, Tom, Cavolis, they all got through after their contact.
That's a very disappointing end result for them in that sprint then, and Zonneveld's still not really trying to get across the line, which is a bit odd. If it was me, I'd be trying to get across the line quickly as possible to still start high up as possible, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, maybe he was trying to give the position back to Dani.
Fair enough then. That's, I suppose, fair in that then. So Dandan obviously won the race, and that went quite quickly, that one. But Vigo up into 4th for the main race, and that's a very impressive drive by, is that Argentinian flag?
From Argentinian flag from who?
Vigo.
Vigo. I believe it is.
Yeah.
I just thought it was the world flag until you mentioned it.
Could be the Uruguayan flag. Anyway, we'll forget the flags. Anyway, Dandan won the sprint then from Neil, from Charlie, who's 3rd, Vigo in 4th, Robbo 5th, Top Car Flogger in 6th, and Tom in 7th. Cavolis takes the final point for AlphaTauri in 8th. Then JMC is 9th, Piano Jam 10th, Stewart 11th, Brian 12th, Limit Danny in 13th, Top House Flogger 14th, Zonneveld 15th, Debris in 16th, then Iron Kid I think was 17th, and it was LLC, I'm pretty sure, at the back of the grid there. So now, obviously, it's all about strategy.
It is.
Unlike the previous race. But that was a pretty decent sprint.
Yeah, some good action, some minor incidents, but good racing all around.
Yep, indeed. was pretty decent racing from them all, and nice especially between the Alfa Romeo driver of Robbo and Charlie. Them two really went out all race. Anyway, 5 red lights is on, and it's go for the Brazilian Grand Prix then. And Danny then gets a good start from pole. Neil then won't be able to challenge into turn 2, but Vigo up the inside of Charlie in turn 3, and he is already ahead then and on to the podium after starting 18th in the sprint.
Yeah, and Charlie there on the hard tires for the start. That's why Vigo could get him so easily off the line. Charlie going long, and I wonder if he's trying to get a fast lap at the end with going with faster tire there.
Probably, yeah, he's going for a longer stint, and yeah, probably will go for a faster tire at the end of the race for Charlie. But going to be having to soak up a lot of pressure in these opening maybe 10 laps.
We got a McLaren, and what else went off? Was it a Williams?
Yeah, it was Piano Jam and Ironclad. Both of them basically cut in across the corner. I only really caught half of it. Not really sure what you caught. And Ironclad again in the walls with LLC hitting the Ferrari man. So not a great race from him so far. But anyway, up the order then Stuart's going to go down the inside on Tom. This is the battle for, well, what is then 8th and 9th at the moment. But JMC's going to also be in the background trying to have a look. But obviously I don't think much you can do. And yeah, Stuart's got Tom, and JMC is going to get Tom as well as we head up the hill, is he? I think he will.
Yes, he's got him.
In the end, Tom probably had to back out, and that was then that. So for the Mercedes man, he's up into 9th, as Charlie doing a good job at holding, obviously, off Top Car Flogger and Robbo at the moment in P4. Obviously, it is early days in the race. As then Vigo and Dandan is your 2 race leaders, and only 9/10 then between them two then at the moment, and Vigo is catching quite nicely in the slipstream, and DRS now will be enabled for the drivers once more to help them get through. So
the fastest lap between Dandan and Vigo was for Dandan this time around, so Vigo not quite catching yet, but he is looking to put up a fight for that race win.
Yeah, indeed. Obviously for 2 McLarens, them two currently won't score any points, so Top Car Flogger going to gain a nice 10 points for Red Bull here, which will be music to Red Bull's ears, I suppose.
Yeah,
that's gonna do
which
good.
Will bring the constructors fight to the wire as well next week in Abu Dhabi.
Yep, indeed, and that means both of the championships would currently be decided in the final race, probably of the season. I'm not really too sure what the driver's situation is, but Top Car Flogger, pretty sure is one of the contenders, or Neil is as well, so I'm pretty sure they're not losing enough points at the moment to be out of this championship, so that would be good for them either way, as Neil currently sat in 3rd. Top Car Flogger does have a time penalty, probably 3 seconds or something like that, as Robbo going for a move on the inside of 2 cars, gets Charlie but doesn't get Top Car Flogger, or not yet, but is going to go up the hill as we ride on board them with the Alfa Romeo of Robbo, and obviously in the end Top Car Flogger got the inside line and is then on the better side of the road and remains ahead of the Alfa Romeo. So currently a brilliant fight really between basically all the way down into 9th, and if Tom and Degree gets into this one, they can also have a good centrepiece of the action, I suppose, as JMC gets a slight tap in the rear, but JMC is going to then be all over then these two, as Stewart is going to potentially lose out to two cars. He's already lost out then to two of them. Can JMC go on the inside to get the position on Cavolis? No, but Stewart unfortunately been tagged around by JMC. I think JMC left enough room, not really too sure, but still. Cavolis on the inside, going to have well, a little bit of a look by JMC at the inside of Cavolis, but Cavolis manages to be far enough ahead into the corner and remains ahead of the Mercedes. So, lap 5, what are you seeing out there?
That incident with Stewart and JMC was very much a repeat of that Hamilton Max that we had. I think it was last year in the Senna S in Brazil. It looked very similar to that, and Stewart obviously getting a slight tap on his wheel, being spun out. On that, the fight, there's a bit of a DRS train all the way from, as you mentioned, Top Car Flogger in P4 down to pretty much P9 JMC at the moment. Iron Kid got back up into the points, 10th place. McLaren at the moment limiting the damage to the constructors title a little bit with scoring, top of my head, 5 points at the moment.
Yeah.
With Top Car scoring 12. They're only losing 7 points as it stands, so it's not that bad.
No, that would still take quite the overhaul in Abu Dhabi for that one to be lost by McLaren, of course. But nonetheless, Robbo is currently on the back of the Red Bull, and maybe he can take a few points away from the Red Bull championship charge, or late championship charge, that probably they're on at the moment here in Brazil. But nonetheless, no real move from him at the moment.
I tried to do the drivers' championship standings and to see what is going on there, but frankly, it's just too complicated with 5 or 6 drivers going for it to do the math to see how many points Dan needs to gain on each specific driver. We'll communicate it in Abu Dhabi because it's just too much.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. Even I wouldn't even attempt to do it. It'd be good if we had one of them live driver trackers like they do in real F1. Could be all done by, I suppose, a computer. But we've actually now got a safety car anyway, so someone somewhere has scored something.
Where did that happen? No DNFs. Limited Danny is in the pits.
What's Limited Danny?
Let's see if he's going to do a wing change, because he was on the hard tyres. Yeah, it's a wing change.
That's very minor damage though for a safety car if it's just a tiny bit of wing.
Yeah, that could have been done with a VSC if anything.
Or just a yellow flag.
Or just a yellow flag, yeah. It will spice things up though. Dan is going in. Very late call by Dan, but he's going in.
I think that's probably the right thing to do, to be fair. Go in for maybe halves.
Yeah, go on to the hards to finish the race.
You can't really go wrong from here, because even if you did get another safety car, you can always go on to maybe mediums or softs later. So.
Yeah. I would personally put another set of mediums with me. Bit more difficult in a sprint weekend. But if you got another set of new mediums, it's a no-brainer to go onto the hards now. Also, don't know if you saw that, but Limited Danny got a drive-through for speeding on the safety car. Which means he neglected his delta time for a bit.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, that's not going to be removed, or, well, he's going to have to serve that within 3 laps of the safety car ending, which is a bit of a Shame for him, I suppose.
It will definitely hurt his race even more.
Yeah. Even though I do like the rule, don't know if you watch IndyCar, if you cause a red flag, well, at least in, what you call it, IndyCar, your lap time gets deleted. Which is pretty good.
If you cause a red flag, your lap time gets deleted.
Yeah.
Is that a quali rule?
Yeah, it's a qualifying rule. Not sure they do anything for a race, but it'd be good if they did.
It's something they've been talking about in F1 as well, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a good idea, because then it takes away that chance of, the driver doing it deliberately.
Yeah, we've had a few, like last year in Monaco with Perez. I think the year before that, it was Leclerc who put it in the wall in the pool section and took pole that way, but then had to retire anyway before the race even started. But it would take all that away.
Yeah, exactly. And all the conspiracies and controversy surrounding that, which I think is always good.
Yeah. Anything, as long as you can take conspiracies away, it's all only for the better.
Exactly. Still, Vigo will restart this race when it gets going. Obviously, didn't come in, neither did Robbo, so then deciding to stay out. Obviously, they do say safety cars breathe safety cars or whatever. Basically, yellows create more yellows. Which, to be fair, is a good rule of thumb. So it wouldn't shock me if we did have another safety car within the next 5 laps, potentially.
Yeah. I've always found that the safety car, like you said, does bring out more. The pack being all bunched up again, people out of position with pit stops. And we're already going to have a safety car restart this lap.
Yep, and that's late, and I think Vigo's gone.
Yeah.
So Vigo's got a really, really good jump on the field. Obviously, due to the late call of the safety car, Danny is already coming to the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. So he's going to drop, obviously, all the way down the order and be hurt a little bit by that. Stewart has picked up a 3-second time penalty then. So pretty much, by the looks of it, no one really gaining out of this safety car restart. As we see then one of the Alpines, or Dubry, getting up the order a little bit then into 10th. So for Dan, I suppose that was a good restart.
Yeah, but good safety car for Tom as well for McLaren. He's now up in P4. He was P8 before. Aaron Kitt decided to put on the hards and maybe go to the end, so that could bode well for him in the end in the title fight. But yeah, some interesting strategies, people staying out, going in, and JMC was having a go at Tom earlier, I think, getting closer at least.
Yeah, so on to lap 11.
Then making a move on Zonneveld into turn 1.
And gets past the AlphaTauri, then up into P6. And Neil is going to probably follow Dan through. Can he even maybe challenge Dan into turn 4? Yes, he can, but unfortunately taps the Alpine driver, and that's going to affect his exit. And Zonneveld is going to slip back through. Then, as we go up the hill into turn 5, Zonneveld still got Neil for company though on the inside. However, finally Zonneveld secures that position. Then, however,
Zonneveld has a bit of a moment.
Yeah,
they're still going side by side, and I think Neil's got this covered now. Yeah, Zonneveld on the track of the Red Bull as well, who's taken him, and he's out of position, being overtaken by 2 or 3 cars at once now.
Yeah, and Stewart
and a big moment.
The next one to
Capolis and Brian, I think.
Yeah, that's a real letdown for Zonneveld, who's dropped all the way back then to 15th. after that mistake.
I think it was Stewart actually, and he's got damage. He's going into the pit. And he's got a 5-second penalty. He just didn't slow down and retired in the pit.
I suppose, in a sense, that can show the difference of like staying out and not staying out. Like, if you have just one moment, you're going to get eaten up by, well, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 cars very, very quickly. And that's what exactly happened to Zonneveld there, who was obviously in 6th a lap ago, but now is all the way down in 15th. So, obviously, Dan is now on the back of the next runner who decided not to pit in the last safety car, and we do have a yellow flag in Sector 1, but that's for Stu. I think that'll be fine, won't be covered by yellow. But for Dan, who's a little bit under pressure now from his teammate, this is going to be a key move to get done down this pit straight. And is he going to go for it? Well, he's on the inside, got the DRS, and is now going to basically roll past the then Mercedes driver. Now, it would be interesting to see if Ruderby tries to go for a move on then his teammate Dan. Obviously, you wouldn't expect team orders between the two, but then you never know whether or not he knows. Is he a stand-in driver or just full-time?
But there is a full-time driver as of a month ago, but straight away got a bit of an injury. I think it was from footy by the top of my head. So this is actually his first race with us.
Fair enough. So, yeah, that's why I was questioned. Does he know whether or not his teammates in the championship fight? And, well, he did go for it, but in the end doesn't go through. So
I think my heart skipped a beat there. That came very close to drama.
Yeah, indeed. Tom then going to be the next one under pressure from the Alpine duo. Then, as Tom almost for a second thought he was going to go into the pit lane, but nonetheless he doesn't. And well, Dan goes through, get the move done into the center S's, a little bit deep.
Charlie retired.
And that is going to cause a safety car. So...
Oh no, Charlie Spin King Harris proves himself again.
So, yeah, that's second safety car. And for them, that's going to affect their race.
Are you still there? Because you all of a sudden went quiet.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm still here. Just thinking what to say, sorry. So yeah, Dan is in 3rd, so obviously strategy, this probably be a good time for Vigo and Robbo to pit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think if you waited out the previous one on your mediums, this is the time to go.
Yep, and Robbo's
Robbo gets his drive-through.
So, a few drivers with penalties. We'll go through actually the penalties. Why not? So, obviously, Robbo's on a drive-through. Top Car Flogger with 3 seconds. Has Robbo got another drive-through?
He has.
Yeah. Pretty sure he just picked up 2 drive-throughs. So, that's his race. Completely ruined. I wouldn't be surprised maybe if he retires in the pits. I'm not really too sure. Piano Jam with 5 seconds, then obviously got JMC with 3, and Vigo with nothing. Sorry, it was Cavolis with 3. So that's the penalty standings. So Dan obviously leads the way.
Yeah, back in the lead, so his early pit stop paid off.
Yep. And obviously does have only 7 lap hold hards. Obviously for the drivers who pitted now, obviously I've lost out on the track position, which obviously affects the race. Then obviously in this one, but other than that, yeah.
I'll tell you what, the way it is at the moment, McLaren is going to take the championship at this race. Iron Kid in 6th, Tom on 2nd, and the only Red Bull in the points is Top Car in 4th.
Yeah, the only thing is that Tom, I think, has got to still make his stop, so
He does.
That's going to affect him a lot. So, I'm not really too sure what he can do in P2.
Surprised he actually didn't go into the pit this time round with the safety car.
Yeah, I'm also a bit surprised, but maybe he's banking. Well, even if you were banking on a later safety car, it's not the idealist of ideal strategies, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not really too sure what his strategy is.
He's going to be a sitting duck on this restart as well.
Yeah, that's the only other thing. So, nonetheless, we'll see what happens between them all. LLC is... Oh, I thought he was in for softs. No, he's in for hards. My correction. I was about to say that would have been bold to go from softs. We're almost halfway through this race now. Lap 18 will be the halfway mark, I'm pretty sure, if I'm correct in saying.
That is correct, yeah. I think that's still a bit too early to go onto the softs. We saw in the sprint that they started to struggle around 9 laps in or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't go onto softs until at least lap 24 if you're going to go for it on softs. Way too ambitious to go anything sooner than that.
And I saw Baduri getting a 5-second penalty for a collision with Tom under the safety car. Sometimes the game can be a bit hard on that. Let's see if he thinks that needs to be deleted, because then we'll definitely see it in the steward room. Otherwise, if it's just a mistake by him, he's going to have to live with that 5 seconds.
Yeah, and safety car still remaining out then on lap 16, so drivers will follow
waiting
around
for LLC to come back to the pack.
Yeah. So lap 17 then, of then 36, and LCC has finally caught up, so safety car should be in this lap then, at least, or I would hope, at the end of it. Right. So
this could prove very well for Dan then, because Tom is behind him on all mediums. Straight behind that is Baduri on newer mediums, but that's his teammate, so he's surely not going to go into full attack onto Dan then. So he might have himself a little bit of a buffer behind him to Top Car and Neil and Iron Kid.
Also, his teammates on 9-lap hold tyres as well, so I think that'll be another little advantage he'll have over the pack.
Yeah.
The interesting one for me is how quick the Ego can get through the field, and what will be the field spread by the time that all occurs to Dan.
He's done very well in the sprint, but we will see as we got a safety car coming in this lap. And then taking it a little bit slower than the previous restart.
Yeah, however, safety car did come in a little bit later on the other restart, so Dan will be able to control the pace, and it'll be his prerogative when to go, and he's gone now. So, as we go racing then once more, then in Brazil, it's Dan leading the way from Tom, and Tom already under a bit of pressure as we head into turn 1, and you can already see the gap that is starting to emerge between our race leader and then Dan, who's in second. However, Dan does gain a little bit on the straight, so good straight line speed from the McLaren there, probably using up a little bit of the ERS, not really too entirely short on that one. But nonetheless, Top Car Flogger then up the hill then towards turn 6, and is behind obviously the McLaren driver then, as it's very compact then between them two. And finally, Dandan has broken out then that second, which is crucial in terms of the fact that he won't give the McLaren any DRS, and Rudry is going to get back that position for P3 from Top Car Flogger, then down the inside then on that Red Bull driver who currently fighting with, well, the McLarens for the championship, the constructors at least. Then, so can Rudry get through on the McLaren? And yes, he can, and that's then at least one McLaren out of the way for one of the Alpine drivers. So it's now Alpine 1 and 2 in this Brazilian Grand Prix.
Yeah, very well done by the Alpines there. Iron Kid is still trying to get past Neil, but those that know Neil of previous leagues know he's very good in defending. So if Iron Kid wants to get something done, I think he's going to have to do it on the start-finish straight, where... Oh no!
And Dandan spun.
I saw an Alpine spun, it was Dan.
Yeah, Dandan has spun in this race, and that's huge ramifications potentially for the Drivers' Championship, as our Drivers' Championship leader is now all the way down in 14th, and Vigo and Iron Kid are coming through literally rapidly then in this race. Vigo's already up to 5th, so you'd probably have to say the odds-on favourite now to win this race is Vigo, all the way in 5th. Hopefully not put the commentator's curse on that one. But yeah, Vigo is literally right behind Iron Kid, who's in 4th, and then the other Alpine of Rudbury leads away from Top Car Flogger from Nil. Then as Cavolis making up a position around the outside of JMC, and it's so compact in this midfield. Literally, you've got almost 5-car battles emerging as JMC goes down the inside of, I think, Zonneville it was, and he's got position up into 9th, then as he's on the back then of Cavolis. So up the hill then we go, and 3-second penalty for LSC, who currently is a little bit behind that group. Then in 13th, as Dandan currently chasing the Ferrari of LCCC. Then and Zonneville having a look around the outside, but can't go for a move there really. Not really.
And Bagduri made a mistake and he's dropped back. Top Car Flogger now the new leader in the race.
Yep, and he then leads as Vigo and Iron Kid looking to make a move on Nil. Vigo has gone around the outside, has he, of Iron Kid? Yes, he has. That's a brilliant move from the Aston Martin.
Vigo done a double overtake on the start-finish straight on both Iron Kid and Neil, as Iron Kid also took Neil. So Neil, the big loser of this fight here.
Yep, he is indeed, and that is probably very, very crucial for probably who's going to win this Grand Prix, because literally Vigo's only got one more car to clear and he will be in the lead of Grand Prix. However, just having said that, there's now a third safety car in this race, and potentially we could see probably drivers stopping for either another set of mediums or softs.
Oh, and this will completely turn things around. Might be what Dan needed to get back into the fight for the win.
I don't know about winning from 11th.
It's going to be difficult for him.
I think, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do on strategy. And Vigo's in, so Vigo is going to pit. Is he going to go on to mediums? Iron Kid's going to pit. Pretty much everyone's pitting. So only one or two staying out in this safety car period. Dandan, I think, is one of them who is staying out then here in this safety car. So Dandan will be back up into 4th, but yeah, everyone else going for the soft tyres, which is certainly a bit bold from this region in the race. I suppose when we get going there will be about 12 or so laps left of racing. It's going to be hard for maybe people like Dan and Top Car Flogger to defend, but maybe for JMC and LCC, if they can stay in the positions that they are, this could be a good opportunity for them.
I don't quite see LLC's staying in that position too long. He's not one of the faster drivers in this tier. With him being on the hards, I can see him dropping back a little bit. Surprisingly as well, looking at the tyres, Iron Kid has put on 7 laps of mediums. So he probably didn't have any new tyres anymore and thought this was the best decision.
Yeah, I suppose they can get to the end, potentially.
We've seen somebody do 19 laps on that, 12 on top of 7. Brings him into around 34 at the moment. So yeah, they will go to the end. Might struggle for pace a little bit by then, but they will go to the end.
Yeah. Obviously, for Iron Kid, I suppose, it's not really about beating Vigo, probably more about beating Dan, I suppose, in terms of drivers championship-wise, in terms of to be a bit closer to him. Obviously, I think Top Car Flogger is either bigger beneficiary. Let's have a quick look at the drivers' standings. I think currently the constructors are not really going to commentate too much on that.
Top Car is number 3 in the standings, 10 points behind Dan.
So yeah, to be fair, Top Car Flogger could, I don't know whether he can challenge for this win, but he could if he has a good restart and able to pull out a bit of a gap, a bit of a buffer, potentially. It depends how quickly the softs fall off really here. That's going to be the key to all of this then, in terms of how this race unfolds in these final 12 laps of racing we'll probably have. Safety car might be in this lap. I'll have to wait and see.
We did mention earlier that around lap 25 the softs would come into play, and here we are, lap 23.
Yeah.
Now we're having that scenario exactly.
The only thing they did put on
the
it a
safety
little bit
car,
early. That's the only other thing. The longer the... I don't know whether it benefits the softs or disadvantages the softs in terms of whether or not you'd want this race to restart sooner or later. Probably later.
I'd say later, because they won't drop off as much then by the last lap.
Yeah, so they're only going to have to do 11 laps really on them now, roughly, because 25 to 36 is about 11 or so. Yeah,
those laps on the safety car don't really take much life out of them. Definitely don't take much performance out of them either.
No, so that's going to be a good beneficiary for them.
I can see Vigo taking this win.
Yeah, and our 3 leaders, I swear they didn't have penalties, but now they do. JMC's got a drive-through. The other 2 both picked up 3-second penalties. Yeah, I can see Vigo also taking this win as well, personally. Sorry, it took me about 3 or 5.
With all the tyres, then they won't be able to defend from Vigo, I think.
Nah, I agree. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a disadvantage, or a bit of a offset for him. So anyway, safety car is in this lap. Top Car Flogger will then lead us back to the green, and he's gone quite early compared to the other 2 restarts, but he's actually caught JMC a little bit out there as we get back to racing, and Vigo is already making up the positions on Zonnevild for P5 in the rest of this race, and already having a look at Dandan. Here he goes then on the outside of Dandan and down then the straight and into P4 he goes already. He's through, so yeah, he's just gonna pretty much breeze past the rest, I think, here for then the lead of this race. So that won't be much of a surprise. Now Zonnewild is attacking Dandan. So I suppose the big question is what can then Dandan do to maybe stay ahead of Iron Kid? That will be the bigger question for him. Obviously, them two are one of the championship protagonists. Top Car Vlogger has actually spun, so that's already given Vigo the lead of the race, and he's now just going to disappear off into the distance here in Sao Paulo. Basically, he'll probably be looking to go to, by the end of this race, he'll be having enough time to think about his vacation in Abu Dhabi or wherever, I suppose. Anyway, Iron Kid making a move for P3, and Iron Kid done a lovely move on Zonnewild and Dandan and gets the pair of them into turn 1 and is up the order.
And again, the way it's going at the moment, Red Bull won't be scoring any points. McLaren is looking to haul a load of points in, and they will become the Constructors' Champions this time round if they do.
Yep, indeed. So they're through on this one. Dandan is up the order then, or down the order, sorry, from Neil, who's in 4th. So Iron Kid is ahead now in 3rd and will be winning the Constructors' Champions for McLaren, which will be nice for them to seal after what's been, I'm sure, a long season.
It will be nice for Iron Kid, because I know he's lost it a few times in the past on the very last sort of races. The downside for everybody else in the league is he just won't be able to stop talking about it. We will have to hear this until eternity if he keeps the championship for McLaren.
Yeah, and unfortunately for LCC, he has been spun. Not sure how. I think maybe he might have made a tap with Neil, but getting a bit more like a Lewis and Max situation that was.
Knowing our LCC, he's perfectly capable of doing it on his own as well.
All that. Still. But yeah, for Iron Kid, I know he was pretty sure he tagged in the Discord earlier today, his teammate saying let's win the championship, so he's determined to do it out there on this occasion.
After the sprint race, he was also pretty sure that was his title fight over. Here he is in 2nd place with Dandan in 6th, so he will gain a huge amount of points and could actually, I think, take over the Drivers' Championship lead as well.
Well, for that would need 6 points, so yeah, would take the lead of the Drivers' Championship, but Neil is on the attack and he does have some fast drivers on softs behind him right now, trying to come
already
through.
Taken him.
Yeah, and next will be Cavolis.
Yeah, and he's all over the back of him.
Yep, indeed. And Cavolis will have a great opportunity into turn 4, but hold your horses, I suppose, because we've got another safety car.
Oh no! What happened? Who caused this one?
Absolutely not sure. Might have been Top House Vlogger because he's DNF'd.
He was already DNF'd with the previous safety car.
Right, so it wouldn't have been him.
I can't ever take Top Car and Top House apart from each other. So I don't blame you.
I'm not really too sure. Brian's lost his entire front wing.
That will explain the thing.
Yeah. So, the game for a front wing safety car is deployed. FIA loves front wings.
Iron Kid has continued to stay out.
Now, that is probably, well, I don't know whether say that's a strategic mistake.
It depends on the tyres he's got left. He's used 2 softs on the sprint. He's used 2 mediums, I think, in this race and a hard. So what tyres does he have left?
The trouble is, Dandan is going to be so rapid now in this final stint. This might even see Dandan on the podium here. So, yeah, this one could be a very interesting sprint to the finish. Effectively, it's a sprint, well, event, and we're going to have a sprint to the finish then for the drivers. And those who are on older tyres, well, pretty much every single driver ahead of Dandan is going to be on used tyres. We've got JMC on 14 lap old hards, Tom on 7 lap old softs, his teammate Brody on 7 lap old hards. Then you've got Danny on 7 lap old softs, Cavolis 7 lap old softs, Iron Kid on 14 lap old mediums, and then Vigo and Neil both on 7 lap old softs. So yeah, for Dandan, he's going to be absolutely rapid.
It's a lot of positions to take over though. The safety car's not coming in. So we're going to unleash the grid at lap 31, effectively, leaving 5 laps of fighting. If he wants to take the win, that's more than a car a lap.
It is indeed.
Which is quite a challenge, especially as Vigo is rapid.
I think though, maybe top 5 definitely. And then I think it'd be a question, can he get maybe past Iron Kid and Neil?
Yeah.
And maybe Cavolis.
What doesn't help is that it's quite a narrow track.
Yeah, it
overtaking is possible, but you need a little bit of brain to make it happen.
It is a narrow track. That's one thing about Brazil. Sometimes it seems easier to a lot of people than it really is. I don't know if you agree with that, if you know what I mean. It's
not at all. I hate this track to the bone. No matter when I race it, I always have a bad race.
Fair enough. No, I always think like it just looks, for a lot of people on the game, like just when you look at it on track map, it looks easy, but yeah, it is a hard track.
It bites, and when it bites hard.
Yeah. And it's quite old school with the grass and all of that in a lot of places.
Which is one thing I absolutely love. The grass around it, no big run-off tarmac areas. If you get in the grass, you'll mess up.
You're done. Yep. Which is good. So Vigo obviously gets to restart race once more. Last time he went late, however, that was due to the fact there was a late call from a safety car, and he's gone now. So
Neil and Kid
we are
both
away.
late though.
So
Cavolis not as much.
yeah.
Danny already taking Cavolis, and he gets spun. Both Cavolis and Limited Danny dropping back. That's helping Dan, who's already into P5, taking his teammate as well.
It's helped Dan, but I'm not sure if he's picked up any sort of damage. Looks like the car turned in pretty okay there. And obviously next up will be Tom. So I think he's looking good, because I think one of the Alpines hit the one of the cars all got caught up in it. But yeah, for his next attack, it will be Tom for P4. Then in this race, currently only 4.5 seconds off the race lead and already up into 5th. Isn't sending it anywhere and everywhere, which is good to see. At least he's being smart about where he goes for it, obviously here, which is always great to watch. I hate drivers who just send it anywhere into any turn.
I know. It's just
But
not the way we want
here
to
he
see
goes.
racing, but then takes it.
And he's through.
He's got it done. Before the apex of T1 he had it done. And he's now on the charge. Yellow flag is sector 1. We got
That's his
Piano Jam.
teammate and Tom.
But Dury as well, and Tom.
Yeah, Dury basically tried to send it into the center S's and failed, and hit Tom, unfortunately. And JMC's had a moment, unfortunately, as well down there. Next up for Dan is going to be Iron Kid. Now, obviously, these are two of the championship protagonists on the track then, going to be fighting each other for the lead or not for the lead of this Grand Prix, overhyping this battle, but for the podium at least. And really is for the lead of the championship, I suppose. Obviously, only 6 points separating the two, so can Dan get 2 extra points here on the championship leader or on the championship protagonist? Then
it's basically a 4-point overtake if he takes it, because Iron Kid will lose about 2 points or 3 points. Is it 3 points?
Yeah,
2. So it's a 6-point overtake.
Yeah, effectively. It's a big point overtake. It's huge.
Yeah.
For him. So this is going to be his moment into turn 4 then, and is going to extend then his championship lead then in this race as we head on lap 33, and is only 2.9 seconds off the race leaders then, which that gap is come down, was only 4 seconds a few laps ago, so it's almost halved in the space of a couple of laps. And this is looking potentially a really good drive from Dan to really recover here after spinning to the back of the grid and pretty much almost looking down and out from him then in this race. So next up is Neil. This is going to be a key overtake then with the DRS enabled. So here he will probably attempt it unless he'll wait for the second DRS straight, which he can obviously do. He's on the outside.
He spun on the start-finish straight.
And a lot of cars he's going to lose out to, potentially going to be outside the points. Has he got any damage? I don't think so, but LCC
doesn't look like it.
At the position.
I think LLCC had a little bit of a moment himself in the Senna S's.
Yeah.
Iron is dropping down like a brick.
Yeah, he is. And in terms of the constructors, I'm not really sure what that exactly means, because obviously Red Bull did narrow the gap a little bit in the sprint race, so that would have gained. Not sure if they'll win it or not.
That was about 6 points. Iron Kid now only 4 points ahead of Top Car Floor, I think.
So it might not be enough then.
I don't think it's enough. I think he needs about 10 points over Top Car Vlogger to make it work in this race.
Well, at least that saves the server from hearing it all week until next week then.
I'm sure it will come next week though.
Yeah, no, indeed. It's almost a given for McLaren. Which...
Are you trying to jinx it?
No, not at all.
Oh, touche. That leaves me to do that.
Anyway, Vigo is being caught quite rapidly, but I think he'll have enough of a gap to hold on to then the lead of the Grand Prix as we go then further down the order. And well, Kavolis is on the back of Top Car Flogger, who did have a moment a few laps ago in this race. However, having said, Vigo is Vigo is coming under threat in the middle sector. Dandan's taken a lot out of Vigo then, so this could be the lead for the Grand Prix. The only thing, Vigo does have a lot of ERS.
And takes the fastest lap as well. Obviously important for the championship battle.
Yeah, so this will be it then for Dandan. It's now or never for the race win. And for Vigo, can he defend? I think he will hold on at least into turn 4. going back to Cavolis, he's got past then Top Car Flogger, but Piano Jam, sorry, not Piano Jam, Limited Danny has spun, and that's then allowed Top Car Flogger back up into 8th. So what can Dan do then in this final?
He's still behind, he's looking, he's all over the back of Vigo, going around the outside now, being squished a little bit out of room, but keeps it there and takes the position. Vigo tries to switch back, then takes the position, and that's it. That's the race win then for Dandan, unless he messes up the last corner here. Keeps it nice and clean. It's going to be a little bit of DRS for Vigo, but that should be in the bank for Dandan with just more grip on his newer soft tyres.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Back. It's going to be a sprint to the finish line. Vigo takes it.
Vigo has won the Brazilian Grand Prix from Neil. From Dandan, from Neil. Then Robbo in 4th. Zonneville crosses the line in 5th. Einkid in 6th. Cavolis in 7th. LCC in 8th. And Top Car Flogger is in 9th. So that, I'm not sure, that might have won McLaren the Constructors' Championship. Piano Jam in 10th. Limited Danny in 11th. Outside the points. And Brian in 12th. JMC is in 13th. And Tom in 14th. So, if my maths is correct, I think McLaren have actually won it.
It all depends on the amount of points Red Bull had in the sprint race.
Yeah, true. I think Red Bull only had 1 point gained, so McLaren only needed 6 over.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I can't remember.
I'm gonna have a quick check.
Let's see once we have the score here.
So obviously Vigo with the win then on the top step of the podium for Aston Martin, and then 4 points. Red Bull took 3 points in the sprint. McLaren took 2 points, so Red Bull only outscored them by 1.
Quick math, McLaren took 10 points over the full 2 races. Red Bull took 5, so that is McLaren champion for the Constructors.
There we go then. So McLaren are your Constructors champions of Tier 3 in 2023 in Tier 3. So Vigo then takes the win in a very dramatic style, crossing the line only just by a 10th second ahead of Dandan. Neil in P3, Robbo P4, Zonneville P5, Einkid P6, Cavolis in 7th, LCC in 8th, and then Top Car Flogger 9th, Piano Jam in 10th, and then outside points got Limited Danny, Brian, JMC, Tom, Debris, Top House Flogger, Charlie and Stuart are your non-finishers as well then. That then is Tier 3 for tonight, with McLaren crowned Constructors champions.
Well, congratulations to McLaren and Aaron Kidd in particular. I know he's been waiting for this a long time. Great exciting race tonight. Lots of issues and actions on track.
Yep. Any personal driver of the day?
I'm going to go for Robbo because he had a double drive-through and he still managed to get on the podium, I think, was it?
Yeah. He had a really good race to get back up there. So, yeah, it was a good result from him. I'm going to go for Neil. I think he would have done really good today.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Still could have gone for Vigo. There were quite a few, to be honest.
Yeah, there was, to be fair. Vigo done really well as well. From pretty much last to first. So, yeah, that was a really good drive from him. Nonetheless, anyway, until Abu Dhabi next week, see you all then. Have a great day. And please subscribe, like and share. Until the next time, have a great day. Peace out.
Cheers.